Hey everyone, I'm back with an important update because tomorrow is the day. I'm Amanda Sweetz, Realtor and Certified Probate Real Estate Specialist here in Palm Beach County. And back on May 26th, I published a full breakdown on my blog about a major change coming to Florida's probate law. The post went up about a month before anyone else in the industry was talking about it. And now that July 1st is literally tomorrow, I wanted to come on here and make sure you haven't missed this. If you've inherited a home, are currently in probate, or helping a family member navigate an estate, this change could directly affect your timeline and your costs. So let's walk through it one more time, because the deadline is now. CSHB 1337 was signed by Governor DeSantis on April 29th. It passed unanimously, 110-0 in the House, 37-0 in the Senate. And effective tomorrow, July 1st, 2026, Florida's summary administration threshold doubles from $75,000 to $150,000 in non-exempt assets. That number hadn't moved since 1975, 50 years. Meanwhile, home values here in Palm Beach County have climbed significantly, which means more and more families were getting pushed into the slow, expensive, formal administration process, even for relatively modest estates. This law fixes that. I've linked my original blog post in the description. It has every detail, every nuance, but I want to make sure you understand the two key things before tomorrow hits. Quick primer for anyone who's new here. Florida has two main probate paths, formal and summary administration. Formal administration is the full process. A personal representative is appointed, there's court supervision, creditor notice periods, and it commonly takes 6 months to a year or more. Higher attorney fees, more court costs, and the home sitting vacant usually the whole time. Summary administration is the streamlined path. No personal representative appointment needed in most cases. It can close in weeks rather than months. It's significantly less expensive. Before tomorrow, you qualified for summary administration only if the estate's non-exempt assets were under $75,000. Starting tomorrow, that threshold is $150,000. For a lot of Palm Beach County families, that is the difference between a 3-month process and a 12-month process. Now here's the thing I flagged in my original blog post that most people, and honestly, a lot of agents posting about this now, are still getting wrong. Homestead property is generally treated differently under Florida law, and typically doesn't count towards that threshold at all. So if your loved one left you a $600,000 home in Jupiter, Palm Beach Gardens, that home itself may not be what's pushing the estate over the limit. It's the other assets, bank accounts, investments, vehicles, personal property. This matters enormously for how you plan your next steps. And it's exactly why generic advice from an article or from an agent who doesn't specialize in this can send a family down the wrong path. Tomorrow is the effective date. So if you're mid-process or about to start the process, here's what I'd encourage you to do. If you're currently in probate, talk to your attorney this week, whether this threshold changes or affects your case, and whether summary administration is now an option for you. If you're about to start the process, don't list or price an inherited home until you know which path you're on. I help families get clarity on this before they make decisions that they can't undo. If you're planning ahead, this is a good moment to review your own assets, how they're titled, and what path your family would face. I've been a paralegal for over 10 years. Negotiation tables, depositions, the legal trenches. And that background is part of why I was tracking this bill before it was on most people's radar. Staying ahead of this stuff, literally, is what I do. If you want to make sure that you're working with someone who's watching out for these changes for you, that's what I'm here for. The full breakdown, every detail of CS HB 1337, how it applies to different estate situations, and the Homestead nuance is linked below from my May 26th post. I was one of the first in the area to cover this, and I'm going to keep being your go-to resource for this kind of information. If you haven't subscribed, now is a great time. This is exactly the kind of update I share before it becomes headlines. And if you have a property you're navigating right now, link in the description to grab a free consultation. I'm Amanda Sweetz, Realtor with Keller Williams Realty of the Palm Beaches. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of yourself and remember, your next chapter is your best.